Nobody buys an R-Vee expecting to live at the repair shop.
Yeah, RV rentals are up in record numbers across the country.
Sales and rentals are booming here on the Central Coast.
But that's exactly where a lot of owners end up. Same brands, same breakdowns, same shocked faces at the service counter. The pattern is so obvious, mechanics can predict what's coming off the tow truck before it arrives. And yet, the showroom story never changes. Here's the truth. This isn't about one bad build. It's about names that keep repeating in the worst way possible. Once you connect those dots, you stop shopping with hope and start shopping with armor. Because in this market, the wrong badge can cost you years of use and thousands of dollars. Today, that mechanic's blacklist is finally out, starting with number 7, Winnebago. It starts with a name that once meant steel confidence and cross-country endurance. For decades, Winnebago symbolized durability on American highways. That reputation still carries weight. Yet the financial signals surrounding its towable motorhomes division tell a different story. Look at the numbers first. In the most recent publicly released quarterly earnings report, Winnebago Industries disclosed declining margins in its towable segment year over year. That is not emotional commentary. That is a documented reduction in profitability. When margins compress, manufacturers respond with incentives. Incentives rarely appear without pressure. Here is where the shift becomes visible. Dealer listings across national platforms show new Winnebago towable motorhomes discounted by $20,000 to $30,000, below suggested retail pricing. Those are not isolated promotions. Those are systematic price adjustments designed to move aging inventory. Why is inventory aging? During the demand surge between 2020 and 2022, production accelerated to meet extraordinary buying activity. Shipments across the industry climbed beyond 600,000 units annually, according to data from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association. Demand normalized. Production could not slow instantly. The result was surplus. When surplus builds, dealers rely on floor plan financing to hold inventory. Higher interest rates mean that carrying a $100,000 unit at 8% interest can cost hundreds per month just to sit on the lot. Multiply that across dozens of units, and urgency replaces patience. That urgency becomes discounting. Discounting affects more than purchase price. It resets market perception. When new units transact significantly below sticker, future resale values recalibrate downward. Buyers who entered at elevated pricing absorb accelerated depreciation. Service capacity also tightens during high production years. Increased volume strains dealer service departments. Warranty claims extend wait times. Extended wait times translate into lost usage weeks. Lost usage weeks reduce practical ownership value. None of this means the brand collapses. It means the cycle shifted. Winnebago remains a respected manufacturer with decades of history. However, when financial pressure intersects with inventory normalization, timing becomes critical. Purchase at the wrong phase, and the depreciation curve steepens faster than expected. Watch inventory age tags with discipline, because units sitting too long usually reflect rising floor plan pressure and approaching price adjustments. Observe incentive patterns carefully, and note how quickly factory support expands when shipment reports from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association begin to soften. Track those shipment numbers before signing any contract, since production declines often precede broader pricing corrections across dealership networks. Remember, discounts are signals of pressure, not gifts offered out of generosity. As the financial lens sharpens, the pattern becomes clearer, revealing heavier volume pressure building quietly beneath familiar and trusted badges. Number 6. Forest River. Volume can hide weakness. When production lines move faster than inspection lights, small shortcuts multiply quietly. Scale builds revenue. Speed builds market share, yet scale also magnifies strain when demand cools. The proof sits in shipment history. According to the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association, total industry shipments climbed past 600,000 units during the surge between 2020 and 2022. Forest River, as one of the dominant producers, expanded output aggressively during that window. Production plants operated at elevated capacity. Dealers absorbed inventory confidently, while demand felt endless. Then interest rates rose. Financing approvals tightened. Retail traffic normalized. Production momentum could not reverse instantly. Inventory began stacking across dealer lots nationwide. Wholesale auction lanes revealed the shift early. Data from major auction platforms showed late-model towable motorhomes trading at depreciation rates approaching 20% within 18 months. Prior to the surge cycle, similar depreciation curves stretched closer to 30 months. That compression matters. Why does it matter? Dealers rely on floor plan financing to hold units. When interest rates climb toward 8%, carrying cost increases monthly. A $100,000 motorhome sitting unsold for 120 days quietly drains capital. Multiply that across rows of inventory and urgency sets in. Urgency creates discounting. Listings across national marketplaces now show price reductions ranging from $15,000 to $30,000 below suggested retail pricing on certain Forest River towable motorhomes. Those reductions are not isolated promotions. They reflect inventory aging and cost pressure. Service capacity becomes another stress point during volume surges. Higher production years generate higher warranty traffic. When service departments are overwhelmed, wait times extend. Extended wait times erode practical ownership value. Lost camping weeks cannot be refunded. Forest River remains a powerful presence in the motorhomes industry. Its reach is undeniable. Yet dominance during a production spike also means greater exposure during normalization. Depreciation curves do not lie. Shipment peaks leave footprints. Floor plan interest compounds quietly. Pay attention to inventory age labels displayed on dealer lots, because extended days in stock often signal rising carrying costs and approaching price adjustments. Study wholesale auction trends to understand real transaction values rather than advertised pricing. Observe how quickly discounts appear after shipment reports from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association begin to decline, since those patterns reveal when leverage shifts from seller to buyer. A brand built on volume must navigate corrections with discipline and precision. The financial cycle does not punish reputation directly. It punishes poor timing within supply and credit shifts. As inventory mathematics tighten further, corporate structure adds another layer of pressure beneath the visible surface. If this breakdown is helping you see the patterns most buyers miss, take a second to like this video and subscribe. It tells the platform this kind of honest analysis matters. Share your experience below so others can learn from it too. Number 5. Keystone. Scale creates momentum. Momentum creates exposure. Keystone expanded aggressively during the surge years, riding the production wave that swept across the motorhomes industry between 2020 and 2022. At that time, demand felt permanent. Dealerships placed large orders, assembly lines accelerated, inventory moved quickly. That pace changed. Keystone operates under the umbrella of Thor Industries, one of the largest publicly traded manufacturers in the motorhomes sector. Public earnings disclosures from Thor Industries acknowledged elevated dealer inventory during normalization phases. Elevated inventory is not a rumor. It appears directly in financial statements. When inventory rises, floor plan financing becomes central. Dealers borrow to stock units. When interest rates move toward 8%, holding a $100,000 motorhome can cost hundreds of dollars each month in interest alone. Multiply that cost across dozens of units sitting beyond 120 days on lot, and patience disappears. Discounting follows pressure. Across national listing platforms, Keystone motorhomes have appeared with price reductions ranging from $15,000 to $30,000, below original suggested retail pricing. Those reductions reflect aged inventory and carrying cost exposure. They are financial responses, not seasonal generosity. Wholesale auction data reinforces the shift. Late-model Keystone units entering auction lanes have shown faster depreciation compared to pre-surge cycles. Where resale curves once stretched toward 30 months, compressed timelines closer to 18 to 24 months now appear in market reports. Acceleration reduces trade in confidence. Why did this happen? Production expanded rapidly during peak demand. Supplier constraints and accelerated build schedules increased throughput. When retail traffic cooled as financing tightened, supply outpaced absorption. Dealers faced inventory stacks funded by higher interest credit. Service capacity pressure adds another layer. Higher production volume typically correlates with increased warranty visits. Service backlogs extend turnaround time. Extended turnaround reduces usable ownership weeks. That reduction translates into practical financial loss, even if no invoice reflects it directly. Keystone remains a recognized brand with significant market presence. Recognition, however, does not shield against cycle correction. Corporate scale amplifies both expansion and contraction. Watch days on lot indicators closely, because extended inventory age often signals rising floor plan pressure and approaching discount adjustments. Observe how quickly factory incentives expand when shipment data from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association begins to decline. Monitor wholesale auction outcomes to understand resale direction before committing to any purchase decision, since auction lanes reveal real demand rather than optimistic sticker pricing. Inventory mathematics operate quietly but consistently across every dealership network. When carrying costs climb and absorption slows, leverage shifts toward those who understand timing instead of impulse. As corporate concentration intensifies, brand legacy collides with broader structural pressure that operates beneath the surface of public perception. Number 4. Jayco. Reputation carries weight long after the numbers begin to shift. Jayco built decades of goodwill in the motorhomes market through consistency and recognizable craftsmanship. That legacy still influences purchasing decisions today, yet legacy does not override cycle pressure. Ownership structure changed in 2016 when Jayco became part of Thor Industries. That acquisition placed the brand inside a larger publicly traded corporate framework. Public earnings transcripts from Thor Industries reference production alignment, cost control measures, and inventory recalibration during normalization periods. Those are financial terms. They reflect operational adjustments when demand cools. The surge between 2020 and 2022 pushed production volume higher across the entire industry. Shipments reported by the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association exceeded 600,000 units annually at the peak. Jayco participated in that expansion. Output accelerated to match demand. Demand then normalized as financing tightened. Interest rates approached 8%. Qualification standards became stricter. Retail absorption slowed. When demand slows, corporate structure emphasizes margin preservation. Margin preservation often includes supplier negotiations, material standardization, and production efficiency changes. None of those are inherently negative. They are responses to shifting conditions. Wholesale auction lanes reveal the outcome of cycle shifts. Reports from major auction platforms show late-model Jayco motorhomes experiencing compressed depreciation timelines. Units that once maintained value for 30 months now display notable softening closer to 18 to 24 months in certain categories. Depreciation acceleration affects trade in positioning. Inventory age indicators at dealerships provide another signal. Units exceeding 120 days on lot increase carrying costs. Floor plan financing at elevated rates compounds monthly interest expense. Dealers respond by adjusting pricing to restore liquidity. Discounting resets perception. Perception influences resale. Service capacity also reflects volume history. Higher production periods correlate with increased warranty visits. Increased visits extend service scheduling. Extended scheduling reduces usable ownership time. Time lost equals value lost. Jayco remains a substantial presence in the motorhomes landscape. Its heritage continues to resonate. However, when corporate oversight intersects with normalization cycles, financial mathematics take priority. Monitor shipment reports from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association to understand whether production is expanding or slowing. Study wholesale auction results carefully, because auction lanes reveal real transaction values rather than suggested retail numbers. Track inventory age labels on dealer lots before committing to any contract, since units sitting beyond 120 days often signal hidden carrying costs and negotiation leverage. Recognize that market cycles do not attack reputation directly. They recalibrate it through supply, credit conditions, and buyer confidence. As perspective widens beyond individual brands, attention shifts toward premium badges, where higher pricing meets tightening credit standards and a steadily narrowing pool of qualified buyers. If you value straight analysis backed by real patterns and not sales talk, subscribe now. Upcoming videos will break down which brands hold up best, when to negotiate hardest, and how to time the market so you protect every dollar. Number 3. Airstream. Aluminum reflects more than sunlight. It reflects expectation. Airstream has carried an image of enduring American travel for generations. Polished shell, recognizable silhouette, a price tag that frequently moves well beyond $150,000. Prestige commands attention. Price commands scrutiny. The financial signals beneath that prestige deserve a careful look. During the production surge between 2020 and 2022, the motorhomes industry experienced shipment levels exceeding 600,000 units annually, according to the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association. Luxury demand participated in that rise. Airstream expanded output to meet enthusiasm fueled by low-interest financing and strong consumer liquidity. Conditions shifted. Interest rates climbed toward 8%. A $150,000 motorhome financed at higher rates produces substantially larger monthly obligations compared to the low-rate era. Monthly payment expansion narrows the pool of qualified buyers. Narrower buyer pools slow turnover. Slow turnover increases inventory age. Inventory age increases carrying cost for dealerships operating on floor plan credit. Holding a 6-figure motorhome for more than 120 days accumulates meaningful interest expense. Expense drives pricing adjustments. Pricing. Listings across national platforms now show Airstream motorhomes discounted by $20,000 to $30,000 below original suggested retail pricing in certain markets. These adjustments reflect aging inventory, not aesthetic decline. Wholesale auction lanes add another layer of evidence. Luxury motorhomes entering auctions during normalization cycles often trade at firmer values than entry-level units. However, even premium categories have shown measurable softening compared to peak cycle expectations. Softening alters resale math. Resale math affects ownership outcome. A buyer entering at elevated pricing during peak enthusiasm may discover compressed equity positioning if the market corrects within 18 to 24 months. Correction does not indicate failure, it indicates cycle movement. Service scheduling provides an additional dimension. Luxury units contain complex systems. Increased production during surge periods correlates with higher aggregate warranty visits. When service departments operate at capacity, scheduling extends. Extended scheduling reduces usable travel weeks. Lost travel weeks diminish practical value. Airstream remains a distinguished manufacturer with loyal followers and a strong brand presence. That recognition persists, yet even iconic names operate within broader financial cycles, influenced by credit conditions, shipment volume, and dealer inventory pressure. Observe listing adjustments with discipline, not emotion. Track how quickly prices fall and how often they change. Monitor shipment reports from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association to understand whether production is expanding or contracting. Study wholesale auction outcomes before committing significant capital, because auction lanes reveal real market value, not suggested retail narratives. Aluminum may shine consistently under showroom lights, but markets rarely move with that same stability. Pricing pressure does not remain confined to manufacturing plants. It migrates outward into retail channels, where inventory age and financing structure begin shaping the final transaction terms more than sticker pricing ever could. As attention shifts toward dealership networks, financing spreads, interest rate differentials, and floor plan carrying costs quietly become the critical variables determining your total ownership expense. Those variables influence monthly obligations, long-term interest paid, and eventual resale positioning. Ignoring them leaves money exposed long before the first mile is driven. Number 2. Thor Motor Coach. Scale without discipline creates friction. Thor Motor Coach grew rapidly during the production surge between 2020 and 2022. When industry shipments, reported by the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association, exceeded 600,000 units annually. Demand felt permanent. Credit was inexpensive. Assembly lines accelerated. Acceleration leaves residue. Thor Motor Coach operates as one of the largest manufacturers of motorized motorhomes in North America. Public filings from its parent organization acknowledged elevated dealer inventory during normalization periods. Elevated inventory signals that distribution channels absorbed more product than retail demand could sustain once financing tightened. Interest rates approaching 8% altered affordability. A $150,000 motorhome financed over 15 years carries significantly higher total interest expense at elevated rates. Approval thresholds narrowed. Retail turnover slowed. When turnover slows, inventory ages. Aged inventory accumulates floor plan financing cost for dealerships. Carrying a motorized motorhome beyond 120 days compounds monthly interest exposure. Exposure drives pricing adjustments. National listing platforms have displayed Thor Motor Coach units discounted by $20,000 to $40,000, below suggested retail pricing in certain markets. These reductions reflect liquidity pressure rather than cosmetic decline. Wholesale auction lanes confirm recalibration. Late-model motorized motorhomes entering auctions during normalization phases have shown measurable softening compared to peak cycle expectations. Softening compresses resale equity positioning for recent buyers. Production scale amplifies both growth and correction. During surge periods, supplier constraints and labor expansion can influence quality control consistency. Higher aggregate volume correlates with increased warranty traffic across service networks. Increased traffic extends scheduling timelines. Extended scheduling reduces usable travel weeks. Usable weeks represent value. Value lost through downtime is rarely calculated in purchase contracts, yet it directly affects ownership, satisfaction, and practical cost. Thor Motor Coach maintains broad brand recognition and a significant market footprint. Recognition, however, does not override financial gravity. Shipment volume, credit conditions, and dealer inventory pressure dictate correction cycles. Monitor shipment data from the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association. Review corporate earnings transcripts for references to inventory normalization and production adjustments. Track inventory age labels before signing any agreement. Correction rarely announces itself with alarm bells or dramatic headlines. It reveals its presence through quiet discount patterns, shifting wholesale auction results, and subtle changes inside financing structures offered at the dealership level. Those signals are not random. They form a pattern that can be studied, measured, and used. The pattern doesn't end with discounts and depreciation. It ends where buyers feel it most. When a motorized coach turns into a monthly payment, you can't pause, and a service waitlist that steals whole seasons. And that brings us to the badge that proves timing matters more than reputation. Number 1. Fleetwood R-Vee. The risk with a legacy badge is that it invites people to shop with confidence instead of calculation. It feels established. It feels proven. It feels like the kind of coach that should protect you from surprises. That feeling is exactly why this spot matters. Fleetwood sits inside a corporate structure under R-Vee Group, and motorized units inside big portfolios live and die by cycle timing. When credit is cheap, dealers move inventory with momentum. When interest rates climb, the same coach becomes a different product overnight because the monthly obligation expands faster than most buyers expect. Now add the surge hangover. High output years do not vanish when demand cools. They reappear as late model inventory, trade-ins, and rows of units trying to find a new price floor. Motorized inventory is heavy capital. Dealers do not hold it for free. They hold it on floor plan financing, and higher rates turn every extra day into pressure. That pressure becomes discounting. Reductions look generous, but they are usually responses to aging stock. The longer a unit sits, the more urgency replaces patience. And when new units transact well below the suggested retail number, resale values recalibrate downward to match reality. Buyers who entered near peak pricing can watch depreciation accelerate within 18 to 24 months, not because the coach failed, but because the market corrected. Then comes the cost. Most contracts never price in downtime. Motorized coaches carry more systems, more integration points, and more potential for small failures to cascade into scheduling delays. High-volume build years correlate with higher warranty traffic later. Service departments tighten, parts queues grow, weeks disappear while your unit waits for a bay, a technician, or a component. Fleetwood is not automatically a bad purchase, but it is a clear example of how the cycle punishes buyers who shop the badge instead of the numbers. Track days on lot with discipline. Study price change history, not just the current discount. Ask direct questions about service lead times before you sign. In this market, timing decides whether your coach delivers freedom or becomes a financed appointment calendar. If this breakdown helped you see what most buyers miss, take a second to like this video and subscribe for more straight, data-backed analysis. And share your experience in the comments. Good or bad, because real ownership stories are where the truth always surfaces first.